What's up YouTube, I'm Shanti Hall and this is Game Talk. Now the game that we're talking about today is the Houston Rockets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm recording this part of the video prior to the game so I can give you guys a real prediction. You can see how my actual thoughts were before the game. So let me start off by saying, as it stands right now, I have the Houston Rockets winning this game. I said this because Cleveland's defense is so bad and Houston's a top 5 offensively rated team. Houston's also in the top half of the league in defensive rating, while Cleveland has one of the worst defenses of all time currently. Also, Cleveland especially struggles with transition defense, and playing against a Mike D'Antoni team could get ugly. But I won't completely count Cleveland out, because they've shown that they like to show up against better teams. But those are my predictions for the game. Now you can watch highlights and listen to future Shanti talk about it. Alright, so now that the game's over, I want to go there and give you guys some of my thoughts on it. But before I do that, let's look at the numbers. Final score of the game, Houston defeats Cleveland 117-113. For Houston, James Harden had 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists for a triple-double. Eric Gordon had 20 points, and Clint Capella had 19 points and 13 rebounds. As a team, Houston shot 46% from the field and 34% from the three-point line. And they also out-rebounded Cleveland 45-26, which is a pretty huge difference and also the reason that they won. For Cleveland, LeBron had 33 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. And Jeff Green had 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. As a team, Cleveland shot 55% from the field and 44% from the three-point line, so actually better than Houston. One more thing to note is that LeBron had 9 turnovers, but I'll talk about why I think that was in a little bit. So let's start off by discussing the Rockets. And I want to start out by talking about Eric Gordon and how good he's been for them this year. Currently, he's averaging 23 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. And tonight it really showed how much energy he brings to this team, because when he was on the floor, they were lighting it up. I'd even go as far as to say that he was the reason that they built the 18-point lead early on. Houston also did a great job this game in exploiting the Cavs' 2 biggest weaknesses, which are transition defense and pick and roll defense. Mostly transition defense earlier on though, when the Cavs weren't really showing effort or willingness to run. But later on in the game, when the Cavs looked more focused and tightened up defensively, the pick and roll really helped the Rockets a lot. James Harden really set Clint Capella up for some very good looks at the rim, and it made me wonder what if Chris Paul was there, and how much better could this team be. The Rockets lost their lead in the second half, and I'd say that's because they started to play in the half court with the Cavs and gave them a chance to actually play defense. I can't say why they did this, but my assumption is that they were tired because they were running the break really well early on. Last thing I want to say about the Rockets is just some food for thought and something I read during the game. James Harden gets to the line with pretty relative ease. He gets a lot of calls. Maybe the reason that he doesn't perform so well during the playoffs is because the refs are more lenient and he's not getting as many calls. But now on to my thoughts about the Cavaliers. The first thing I noticed about the Cavs last night is that they were trying to get Kevin Love involved early. Probably trying to build off his big game from last time, and it kind of worked because he was shooting really well early on. I think he'll really benefit from Tristan Thompson coming back because he's not a natural center, but that's what they have him playing right now. Which brings me to my next point, the Cavs really need a backup center. The two I think they should look into are Kyle O'Quinn and Robin Lopez. Those are 2 good defensive big men who I think are actually able to be moved. The next thing I noticed, as I said earlier, the Cavs defense still isn't very good. They consistently play bad in transition and consistently give up easy layups to the pick and roll. Out of all the games I've watched, they're not improving on this, and that's why it's so concerning. But in the half court, they looked pretty decent on defense actually, besides pick and roll situations. And they also managed to get Houston to slow the game down, and that really helped the Cavs get back in it. That and Jeff Green looked unstoppable today. His energy off the bench is definitely what the Cavs needed. I think I already said this once this year, but he's a really underrated bench player for them. Now lastly, I want to talk about LeBron. He had a really good game scoring with them, but he also had a lot of turnovers. I think the reason they was turning the ball over so much is because he was playing uncomfortably. He played on a bad ankle against the Bucks, and earlier in this game he went down to the floor and appeared to be holding that same ankle. I'm not making excuses for LeBron, but playing with pain can really mess up your rhythm. And those are my thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Houston Rockets game. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like it, please like and subscribe. If you have any thoughts about the game yourself, why don't you leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.